Welcome back to State Quarter. Today's video isn't just eye-opening, it's a full-on treasure hunt. Because hidden in plain sight are Kennedy half dollars that look like everyday change, but when the right details line up, their value can climb into the hundreds of thousands and beyond. Many people have already let these coins slip through their hands without ever knowing what they were worth. And at this very moment, one of them could be sitting quietly in your own drawer. Stay with me, because every coin we reveal takes us deeper into a world that gets rarer, more fascinating, and more valuable with each step. First up, the 1990 United States of America Kennedy half dollar. In bad condition. The year reads 1990, and just beneath the date, a small letter P marks its place of birth at the Philadelphia Mint. By 1990, the Kennedy half dollar had already become something of a tradition in American life. It was no longer a coin people used every day, but one that often found its way into collections, keepsake boxes, and memory jars. Many people received them as change once or twice and decided to hold on to them, not because they were valuable at the time, but because they felt special. There was something about the size, the design, and the history behind the face on the coin that made it feel worth saving. When this coin first left the mint, it carried a clean, bright surface and sharp design details. The portrait of Kennedy showed strong lines in the hair and a smooth, even finish across the face. The letters in Liberty stood clearly along the edge, and the date was crisp and easy to read. On the back, the eagle spread its wings in a bold display, with fine lines in the feathers and a balanced, well-centered look that reflected the careful work of the mint's engravers and machines. But this particular example tells a different kind of story, one shaped by time and use. In bad condition, the coin shows the marks of a long journey. The high points of the design are worn smooth, the shine has faded into a soft, dull surface, and small scratches and nicks scatter across the fields. Kennedy's hair blends into the background, the lettering loses some of its sharpness, and the eagle's feathers no longer stand out the way they once did. These signs of where aren't flaws in a story, they're chapters in it. Every mark hints at where the coin might have been. It may have passed through countless hands, slid across counters in grocery stores, or rested in pockets alongside keys and loose change. It could have been dropped into tip jars, rolled up at a bank, or forgotten in a coat pocket for an entire winter. Each moment left a subtle trace, turning a once-perfect surface into a map of everyday life. For collectors, condition usually plays a major role in value, but sometimes the real intrigue comes from contrast. A heavily worn coin from a year that holds special interest can still draw attention, especially when it carries the right mint mark. The P on this 1990 half dollar ties it back to Philadelphia, the heart of American coin production, and for some collectors, that connection alone adds a layer of appeal. There is also a certain honesty in a coin that shows its age. While pristine examples often live their lives sealed away in plastic holders, a well-used coin feels more personal. It feels like it's been part of real moments, small transactions, casual exchanges, and quiet routines that make up everyday history. Holding a coin like this can spark memories of counting change at the kitchen table or sorting through a jar with a grandchild on a rainy afternoon. What makes this year especially interesting is that even in worn condition, some examples attract attention because of unusual features, striking quality, or subtle minting differences that only careful eyes can spot. Collectors will often examine the edges, the alignment, and the overall look of the strike, searching for something that stands out from the ordinary. Sometimes it's not about perfection, but about personality. As years pass, fewer of these coins remain in circulation. Some are lost, some are damaged beyond recognition, and others quietly slip into collections where they may not be seen again for decades. This slow disappearance adds a quiet sense of urgency to the search. Every old drawer, forgotten box, or inherited collection becomes a small treasure hunt, filled with the possibility that something unexpected might be waiting inside. The 1990 Kennedy half dollar with a P mint mark, even in bad condition, stands as a reminder that value isn't always about shine or sharp edges. Sometimes it's about story, rarity, and the connection a coin creates between past and present. It represents a moment in time when the Kennedy design was already a part of American tradition, carrying forward a legacy that began decades earlier. And in exceptional cases, when the right combination of factors comes together, examples of this very coin have reached values that range between $180,000 and $200,000, turning a well-worn piece of change into something truly remarkable. But the journey doesn't stop here. The next coin we're about to explore takes us even further into the world of hidden details and surprising discoveries. So stay with me, because what's coming next may just change the way you look at every coin you've ever held. Next up, the 1984 Kennedy half dollar with P mint mark in bad condition. By the mid-1980s, the Kennedy half dollar had already stepped away from everyday life. It wasn't something people commonly spent at grocery stores or gas stations anymore. Instead, it became the kind of coin that was saved just in case, dropped into jars, desk drawers, and small boxes meant for odds and ends. Many Americans held onto these coins not because they were told they might be valuable, but because they felt meaningful, like a little piece of national memory you could hold in your hand. When this coin was first struck, it carried a clean, bright surface that reflected the careful work of the mint's machines and engravers. Kennedy's portrait showed smooth, confident lines, and the letters around the rim stood tall and even. The date was crisp, and the reverse design displayed the eagle with clear feather patterns and strong, balanced presence. Everything about the coin, in its early days, spoke of precision and purpose. But the example we're looking at now tells a different kind of story. In bad condition, the coin wears its history openly. The once sharp details have softened, the shine has dulled into a muted, gray tone, and small scars from years of handling cover the surface. Kennedy's hair blends gently into the background, the lettering loses its boldness, and the eagle on the reverse no longer commands the same crisp attention it once did. These changes aren't just signs of wear, they're evidence of a life spent moving through the world. Every scratch and smooth spot hints at where the coin might have traveled. It could have sat on a dresser beside a pocket watch, rolled around in a car's cup holder, or been passed between family members during quiet moments at the kitchen table. Maybe it was given to a child as a special coin, or tucked away in a drawer after a visit to the bank. Over time, these small, ordinary moments became part of the coin's character. The P mint mark ties this half dollar back to Philadelphia, a city deeply rooted in the nation's history. For collectors, this connection adds an extra layer of meaning. It links the coin to a place where American coinage has been shaped for generations, where tradition and technology meet to create objects meant to last far longer than the people who use them. Even in worn condition, coins like this can draw attention for reasons that go beyond surface appearance. Collectors often look closely at the way a coin was struck, the alignment of the designs, and the subtle differences that can appear from one piece to another. Sometimes, a coin that seems ordinary at first glance reveals small traits that make it stand out, details that only careful observation can uncover. There's also something deeply human about a coin that shows its age. While pristine examples often live behind plastic holders and glass cases, a well-used coin feels more personal. It feels like it has been part of real lives and real moments, small purchases, quiet exchanges, and everyday routines that rarely make it into history books but shape the fabric of daily life. As years pass, fewer of these half dollars remain in circulation. Some are lost, some are damaged beyond recognition, and others are tucked away in collections, waiting silently for the next generation to rediscover them. This slow fading from public view adds a sense of mystery and possibility to every old box of coins or forgotten roll from the bank. The 1984 Kennedy half dollar with a P mint mark, even in bad condition, stands as a reminder that value is not always tied to beauty or perfection. Sometimes it grows from story, connection, and the simple fact that an object has traveled through time alongside the people who used it. And in rare and exceptional cases, when the right mix of factors comes together, examples of this very coin have reached values ranging between $145,000 and $200,000, transforming a worn piece of change into a remarkable discovery. Next up, 1979 Kennedy half dollar with no mint mark. This version of the Kennedy half dollar was born at the Philadelphia Mint, where the absence of a mint mark quietly signals its origin. For generations, that mint has been a place where American history and craftsmanship meet, where machines and skilled hands work together to produce coins meant to travel far beyond the walls where they were created. In 1979, the world was moving fast, yet this coin carried forward a design that had already become deeply rooted in the nation's memory. When it first left the mint, this half dollar was a picture of precision. The surface gleamed with a fresh, reflective glow. Kennedy's portrait showed smooth contours and carefully sculpted details, from the lines in his hair to the shape of his jaw and the calm expression in his face. The word Liberty arched proudly along the rim, each letter standing tall and clear. On the reverse, the eagle appeared strong and balanced, Its wings spread wide, the shield and stars arranged with a sense of order that spoke to the careful planning behind every strike. In its early days, this coin might have moved through hands that barely noticed it. It could have been used to pay for a cup of coffee, dropped into a tip jar, or slipped into a pocket alongside keys and folded bills. But many people in that era chose not to spend half-dollars at all. Instead, they set them aside, feeling that these larger coins were somehow different, more meaningful, more connected to the past. Over time, some of these coins found their way into drawers, envelopes, and small boxes labeled with simple notes like keep or special. Others were rolled up and stored away, forgotten in closets or passed down with family belongings. Each resting place added another layer to the coin's quiet journey through the years. What makes the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark especially interesting to collectors is the way subtle details can elevate it from ordinary to extraordinary. The quality of the strike matters deeply. A strong strike brings out finer lines in Kennedy's hair and adds clarity to the smallest elements of the eagle's feathers. The smoothness of the fields, the flat areas around the design, can make a coin appear almost like a small mirror when light passes across it. Collectors often tilt the coin gently under a lamp, watching how the light moves across the surface. A soft, even glow suggests a well-preserved example, while tiny shadows can reveal marks, scratches, or other signs of handling. Even the edge of the coin is examined, looking for clean, sharp reading that hasn't been flattened by years of contact with other coins. There is also a special fascination with how coins from this period can show slight differences from one another. Small variations in the dies used to strike them can create tiny changes in lettering thickness, spacing, or alignment. These differences are often invisible to casual eyes, but stand out clearly to seasoned collectors who know exactly what to look for. For many people, especially those who remember the late 1970s, holding this coin can bring back memories of a different pace of life. It can remind them of standing at a counter counting change, of saving coins in a glass jar, or of being given a half-dollar as a small gift by a parent or grandparent. In that sense, the coin becomes more than an object. It becomes a connection to moments that feel both distant and familiar. The absence of a mint mark adds another layer of quiet intrigue. It's a simple detail, but one that tells a story about where the coin began its life and how it fits into the broader picture of American coinage. For collectors, these small clues help build a deeper understanding of the coin's place in history. As years go by, high-quality examples become harder to find. Coins are lost, damaged, or locked away in private collections, slowly shrinking the pool of pieces available for new collectors to discover. This gradual disappearance adds a sense of anticipation to every search, whether it's through an old family collection, a forgotten roll from the bank, or a small box tucked away in a closet. The true charm of the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark lies in this blend of simplicity and possibility. On the surface, it looks like just another coin. But beneath that quiet appearance is a story of craftsmanship, memory, and the chance that something overlooked can hold far greater significance than anyone expected. And in rare and exceptional cases, when this coin is found in outstanding condition or with special characteristics that set it apart, its place in the collecting world can rise dramatically. Some examples have reached values ranging between $210,000 and $300,000, turning an unassuming half-dollar into a remarkable and life-changing discovery. But our journey isn't quite complete yet. The next and final coin we're about to explore carries an even deeper sense of mystery and excitement, one that brings together rarity, history, and the kind of story collectors love to tell for generations. So stay right here, because what's coming next may be the most unforgettable piece of them all. Next up, the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar. Familiar face of President John F. Kennedy. The year reads 1974, and beneath it, there is no small letter at all. No mint mark. Just a clean, simple date, and a coin that feels like it has a story waiting to be told. This particular half-dollar traces its beginnings back to the Philadelphia Mint, where the absence of a mint mark quietly reveals its origin. By the mid-1970s, the Kennedy half-dollar had already become a fixture in American culture. It was more than just a form of money, it was a symbol. For many people, it represented a moment in history, a memory of a president, and a design that had become deeply woven into the nation's everyday life. When this coin was first struck, it carried the look of fresh craftsmanship. The surface was smooth and bright, catching the light in a soft, even way. Kennedy's portrait showed careful shaping in every feature, from the subtle curve of the jaw to the fine lines in the hair. The letters of liberty stood proud along the edge, and the date was sharp and clearly defined. On the reverse, the eagle appeared balanced and powerful, its wings spread wide, with the shield and stars arranged in clean, orderly symmetry. In those early days, this coin moved easily through the world. It may have passed across a diner counter, been tucked into a pocket with a folded receipt, or dropped into a tip jar at the end of a long day. Some people spent $50 without a second thought. Others, however, paused when they saw Kennedy's face and decided to hold on to the coin instead, slipping it into a drawer or a small envelope marked for safekeeping. As the years went by, many of these coins found quiet places to rest. They sat in desk drawers, old purses, and small boxes on closet shelves. Some were passed down through families, included among keepsakes and letters, their original purpose as money slowly giving way to a new role as a personal memento. Each stop along the way added another invisible layer to the coin's journey. Collectors who seek out examples of the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark often focus on the small details that others overlook. They study the way light moves across the surface, looking for a smooth, even glow that suggests careful preservation. They examine the fine points of the design, the strands of hair in Kennedy's portrait, the sharpness of the lettering, and the clarity of the eagle's feathers on the back. Even the flat areas of the coin, known as the fields, tell a story. A calm, clean field can make the design stand out, while tiny marks and lines reveal how the coin has been handled over time. The edge, with its ridge pattern, is also important. Sharp, well-defined ridges often suggest a coin that has spent less time in heavy circulation. There is also a special fascination with subtle variations. Coins struck from different dies can show tiny differences in spacing, thickness of letters, or alignment of the design. These small changes are rarely noticed by casual observers, but to experienced collectors, they can be the difference between a common piece and one that deserves a closer look. For those who remember the 1970s, holding this coin can bring back a sense of that era. It may remind them of filling a gas tank for just a few dollars, of standing in line at a movie theater, or of sorting through change at the kitchen table. The coin becomes a quiet bridge between then and now, connecting everyday moments across generations. The lack of a mint mark adds a subtle sense of mystery. It invites questions about where the coin began and how far it has traveled since the day it left the mint. For some collectors, that simple missing letter is part of the charm, a small clue in the larger story of American coin production. As time continues to move forward, fewer high-quality examples remain easily available. Coins are lost, worn down, or tucked away into collections where they may stay hidden for years. This slow thinning of the field keeps the search alive, encouraging people to look through old jars, inherited boxes, and forgotten rolls of coins with fresh eyes and renewed curiosity. The real beauty of the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark lies in this blend of the ordinary and the extraordinary. It looks simple. It feels familiar. Yet beneath that quiet surface is a rich story of design, history, and the possibility that something small and easily overlooked can hold far greater significance than anyone expects. And in rare and exceptional situations, when this coin is discovered in outstanding condition, or with unique features that set it apart from the rest, its standing in the collecting world can rise dramatically. Some examples have reached values ranging between $275,000 and $300,000, turning a humble half-dollar into a truly remarkable and unforgettable find. Next up, the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar with D mint mark in dirty condition. This bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar was created to mark a milestone unlike any other in American history, 200 years since the founding of the United States. In the mid-1970s, the country was looking back at its beginnings, reflecting on the journey from a group of colonies to a modern nation. The Mint responded by creating special designs that would circulate through everyday life, allowing millions of Americans to hold a piece of that celebration in their hands. The D Mint mark on this coin quietly points to its origin at the Denver Mint, a place known for producing coins that would travel far beyond the Rocky Mountains and into every corner of the country. From the moment this half-dollar left the mint, it carried with it both a national message and practical purpose, meant to be spent, saved, and shared among people from all walks of life. The design itself tells a powerful story. On the front, Kennedy's portrait remains calm and steady, a symbol of leadership and remembrance. But when you turn the coin over, the usual eagle is replaced by a striking image of Independence Hall. This building, where the Declaration of Independence was debated and adopted, stands as a silent witness to the birth of the nation. The image is not just decoration. It's a reminder of ideas, courage, and the long path of history that led to the bicentennial celebration. When this coin was first struck, its surfaces would have been bright and clean, the details sharp and easy to see. The lines of Independence Hall's towers, the windows, and the lettering around the rim all stood out clearly. Kennedy's portrait showed smooth contours and defined features, and the dual date was bold and proud, announcing the 2 centuries it represented. But the example we're looking at now tells a very different story. In dirty condition, the coin carries visible signs of a long and busy life. Its once shiny surface is now muted, covered in layers of grime, discoloration, and tiny scratches. Dirt has settled into the small grooves of the design, softening the fine details and giving the coin a darker, weathered look. The edges may feel less sharp, the lettering less bold, and the building on the reverse less crisp than it once was. Yet, in a way, this wear and dirt add a different kind of value. They speak of decades of movement and use. This coin may have been passed between hands during everyday transactions, dropped into jars on kitchen counters, carried in pockets during long workdays, or stored in boxes alongside letters, photographs, and other pieces of personal history. Each layer of grime is like a page in a book, recording where the coin might have been and who might have held it. Collectors often approach coins like this with a sense of curiosity rather than judgment. They look beyond the surface to understand the story beneath. Even in dirty condition, the bicentennial half-dollar can reveal important traits, how well it was struck, how centered the design is, and whether any unusual features or variations appear in the lettering or imagery. Sometimes, it's these hidden details that make a coin truly stand out. There's also something deeply symbolic about a bicentennial coin, showing its age. It reflects the idea that history itself isn't polished and perfect. It's shaped by time, use, and countless small moments that leave their mark. Holding this coin can feel like holding a tiny, tangible piece of the nation's journey, one that has traveled through everyday life rather than sitting untouched behind glass. For many people, this coin stirs memories of the 1970s, a time of parades, flags, and celebrations marking America's 200th birthday. It can bring back images of community events, school projects, and families talking about history around the dinner table. The coin becomes more than metal. It becomes a doorway to a shared national memory. The Denver Mint mark adds another layer to its identity. It ties the coin to a specific place, a specific group of workers, and a specific moment in the production of millions of pieces meant to carry the bicentennial message across the country. That small D becomes a quiet signature of where this particular coin began its long journey. As years pass, many of these coins are lost, damaged, or tucked away in collections, slowly fading from everyday view. Finding one today, especially in an unexpected place, can feel like uncovering a small artifact from a celebration that once brought the entire nation together. The true power of the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar with a D mint mark lies in this blend of history, symbolism, and lived experience. It represents not just a president or a building, but a milestone that belongs to everyone who calls this country home. And in rare and exceptional cases, when the right combination of factors comes together, even for examples found in dirty condition, this very coin has reached values ranging between $450,000 and $500,000, turning a weathered piece of change into a breathtaking and life-changing discovery. So the next time you come across an old box of coins or a forgotten jar on a shelf, remember this story. Because somewhere among the ordinary pieces of everyday life, a remarkable chapter of history might still be waiting to be found.